Hello my dear friends, this is a small recap of the subject cost audit. In the part 1 and part 2 we have already seen the meaning, definition and origin of cost audit. In part 2 we have discussed reasons, objectives, advantages and disadvantages of cost audit. In the coming part we will see scope of cost audit. Thereafter, cost audit section as per Companies Act. Then types of cost audits. Applicability, that means for which companies it is applicable. Then thereafter the distinction between financial audit and cost audit. There also distinction between cost investigation and cost audit. Then the concept of proprietary audit and the concept of efficiency audit. So let us discuss this one by one. Now let us understand the scope of cost audit as per Companies Act 1956, which is revised in 2013. This scope will tell us how the cost audit to be conducted by the companies. While conducting the cost audit, it should be noted that it varies industry to industry. That means the nature and the areas to be examined under cost audit is different from one industry to another industry. Then it also depends upon the purpose of the audit. That means for what purpose or for what objective the audit is undertaken, whether by the company or by the government, the scope depends upon that purpose. Then third, it is also depends upon the data or information maintained by the company. So whatever or which kind of records have been maintained by the company and for which records the audit is supposed to be conducted, it is depend upon that. Then it is also depend upon conditions of different process of manufacturing adopted by the industry. As we know, there are different types of methodologies adopted by the manufacturing companies for their manufacturing processes. So which kind of processes are to be examined, which is also different from company to company. And at last, the discretionary powers on the part of the cost auditor. To conduct or while conducting any cost audit, there has been some powers given to the cost auditor. It is also differs from the company to company, or it is also differs from the powers conferred by the government to such cost auditor. So while conducting the cost audit, all these points have to be remembered by the cost auditor. Now let us move towards the section of cost audit. Cost audit is undertaken under section 233B of Companies Act 1956, and cost audit can be ordered by the management for those years in which an order under section 233B of Companies Act 1956 is not issued by the government. Under section 233B of the Companies Act, there has been powers given to the government to order cost audit to certain kinds of companies, and to which companies it is not compulsory or mandatory that companies can conduct their cost accounts audited with the order of their management. So in this way we can say that the section 233B is compulsory by the companies to which government has given the cost audit, and for other companies, if the management feels so, they can conduct the cost audit. Here are some types of cost audit. The cost audits depends upon the benefits received by some parties by conducting such audit. There can be the cost audit on behalf of the government. There can be cost audit on behalf of a customer. There can be the cost audit on behalf of a management, by trade associations, or by statutory cost audit. We will discuss this one by one. The first on behalf of government. Now when government can order the cost audit, the government on its own initiates may order cost audit in the public interest for establishing fair price of any product. If government feels that any product for necessity of the public are charging unfair prices, in that case the government can look after the company and their costing records to judge that whatever cost of production they have charged to the product have been properly or fairly executed or not. So the government can order the cost audit, and also to obtain any subsidy or cash assistance. If any company wish to obtain subsidy or cash assistance from the government to satisfy their condition orders the cost audit to such kind of companies. Thereafter, there can be the cost audit conducted on behalf of customers. Why customers order the cost audit? Sometimes agreement between two parties have stipulation in this regards. When any buyer or any seller enters into an agreement, there can be a stipulation in their agreement for the conduction of cost audit, and in such situation cost audit can be conducted. There is also cost audit conducted on behalf of management to ensure that cost data placed before the management are verified and reliable and will assist in decision making. So we know cost audit is conducted by the cost auditor, and he provides the information to management, information in regards with the reliable data which assist the management in their decision making. I have given the example in the earlier section also. If any product is occurring losses or any unit is occurring losses, the management can take the decision to discontinue such unit and to discontinue such product line. So it helps the management for their better decision making. Then some cost audit is ordered by trade associations also. Trade association may take the responsibility of fair pricing of products manufactured by the member units. Trade associations are the very most and major part of any industrial concern, and if they take the responsibility of giving fair prices to the customers and to the public at a large, they can order cost audit conducted by the recognized cost auditor. When trade associations takes the responsibility of fair pricing, for this they may require the accuracy of costing data checked and seek cost information by having cost audit. So they can order the company to conduct the cost audit with the help of cost auditor, and they can get accuracy of the costing data. Then it can be also said that cost audit is statutory by the government. When it is statutory, according to section 233B of Companies Act provides for statutory cost audit. There are certain kinds of company to which section 233B of the Companies Act applies, and to those companies it is necessary to conduct statutory cost audit. It can be ordered from year to year. That means once you have started conducting the cost audit, you can conduct it from one year to another year and so on. After discussing scope and types of cost audit, let's move towards the applicability of cost audit, which is given as per cost audit and record rules, that is rule number 4. To understand this applicability, we have to see that there is a regulatory sector and there is also a non-regulatory sectors. We will discuss this in another part, what is meant by regulatory sectors and non-regulatory sectors. For regulatory sectors, there are some conditions for conducting the cost audit, and also for non-regulatory sectors, there are also some conditions for conducting cost audit. Now let us talk about regulatory sectors. What I have said, if overall annual turnover during immediately preceding financial year is equal or more than rupees 50 crores, then you have to conduct cost audit. Or if the aggregate turnover of the individual or products or service which is more or equal to rupees 25 crores, we can say that under section or under rule 4 there has been compulsory conduction of cost audit only to those companies of which the gross annual turnover including all the products is equal or more than 50 crores. And if we consider only an individual product, then the turnover is more or less equal or more than 25 crores. Then in case of non-regulatory sectors, overall annual turnover during immediately preceding financial year should be more or equal to rupees 100 crores. And if we calculate on individual product basis, the aggregate turnover of the individual or products or service should be equal to or more than rupees 35 crore. In this case, you have to conduct cost audit as per rule 4. Now what if the revenue from export of foreign exchange is more than 75% of total revenue under regulatory sectors, as well if revenue from export of foreign exchange is more than 75% of total revenue from non-regulatory sectors. Also, if operating from special economic zones, that is SEZ, for regulatory sectors, and also if operating from special economic zones for non-regulatory sectors, rule 4 shall not apply. That means they are not eligible, or it is not compulsory for such kind of sectors or companies to conduct cost audit. So we can say that conduction of cost audits is depend upon the turnover of any company of any preceding financial year. For regulatory sectors, if it is more than or equal to rupees 50 crores, considering all the products, and for non-regulatory sectors, the turnover should be more than or equal to 100 crores, including all the products. If there is only one product, then for regulatory sectors, it should be more than or equal to 25 crores, rupees 25 crores. And in case of non-regulatory sectors, if we consider only one product, the turnover should be more than or equal to rupees 35 crores. In this way, we can say that this applicability works as per this way. Now here is the difference between financial audit and cost audit. Let us understand this. Under financial audit, the first point says it is compulsory under Companies Act. Every manufacturing company or every company has to conduct compulsory financial audit of their financial accounts. Under cost audit, it is not compulsory except in case of companies carrying on manufacturing or mining business. As we have discussed, there are certain regulatory sectors and there are some non-regulatory sectors wherein there are the manufacturing concerns and mining businesses. To those, compulsory cost audit is required. The second point says, see whether P&L account and balance sheet represents true and fair view. So the purpose of financial audit is to see whether the P&L account and balance sheet represents true and fair picture of the financial position of the concern. Under cost audit, the duty is to find out cost of manufacture of each units of goods. So when cost audit is conducted, the most important task performed by the cost auditor is to find out the cost of manufacture, which is calculated for each unit of goods. Then third, field of audit is limited. As financial audit is concerned with the financial statements like P&L account, balance sheet, cash flow statements, so the field of audit is limited. But the field of cost audit is wider, as it covers all the records of the concern which are kept in the office either or which are kept in the factory as well. So under cost audit, the field of working is much more than the financial audit. Next point, the auditor has to see whether the ledger entries and castings are arithmetically corrected. So while conducting the financial audit, financial auditor sees to see that whether the ledger entries put it in the P&L account, balance sheet, etc. are arithmetically correct or not. But in case of cost audit, auditor sees whether costing entries have been properly made or not. They are not concerned with the ledger entries, but they are concerned with the costing entries. Then next, this auditor is concerned about the financial aspect of the accounts. So as the name itself indicates, financial audit is concerned with the financial aspect, and other cost auditor is concerned with the cost aspects of accounts. So here the name itself indicates cost audit is concerned with the cost aspects. Here are some more points of distinction. Under financial audit, it is concerned to serve the interest of shareholders. The prime and most important function of any kind of financial audit is to serve the shareholders, because shareholders are true owners of the company. But that is not in case of cost audit. Why? Because it is concerned to serve the interest of management. As we have discussed earlier, cost audit is the audit conducted of costing records, which are secret kind of records, and the purpose of such audit is to provide information not to whole public but just to the management. Hence, it is concerned with the managerial areas only. But in case of financial audit, all the public as well as shareholders and all the third parties can see the financial audit reports. Next point says the auditor sends reports to the management, but in case of cost audit, the report is sent to the company board and to the company. So financial audit report are more concerned with the management but not with the company. But in case of cost audit, whole company reports are required to send to the company. The next, auditor examines financial aspects of the accounts. It is very simple, because the financial auditor has to assign the task of financial aspects, hence he examines the financial areas only. And under cost audit, it is concerned with the cost aspects of accounts. And last point says the role of financial auditor is in office, but in case of cost audit, the role of cost auditor is in factory, because he has to examine all the manufacturing processes, methods, systems adopted by the company in deep. So he has to work in the factory also. But in case of financial auditor, his duty is confined only to the financial statements, so that he can work in the office only. I hope you have understood the differences of financial audit and cost audit. After considering the difference between financial audit and cost audit, let's move towards the next is cost investigation and cost audit. What is the main difference between cost investigation and cost audit is that we can say cost audit is a wider term than cost investigation. Let us take an example. Under cost audit, various kinds of records have been examined, right from materials, labor, inventories, then your bin cards, etc. But in cost investigation, there is one specific area to get investigated. For example, inventories. So cost audit concern more areas, but cost investigation is concerned with the some specific area. Let us understand this. First point says under cost investigation, it is systematic investigation of cost records. So under cost system investigation also, there is a investigation of costing records with object of specific thing. Under cost audit, it is the verification of cost accounts. It is not investigation, but it is just verification of cost or accounts, that whether proper cost have been putted or not. Second point says a specific activity conducted for specific matters relating to cost records. So cost investigation is conducted mainly towards the specific activity or specific matter. But in case of cost audit, it is examination of all costing books, all costing records to check arithmetical accuracy and principles. So it is not with the specific books or it is not with the specific records. It includes all the costing books and records to check their arithmetical accuracy. Third point says the scope of cost investigation is very much narrow and specific, as it is related only with the specific task. So the scope of cost investigation is very narrow, but the scope of cost audit is very much broad and general, because here you are observing all the records, all the books, of costing, so the scope is very much broad. Then cost investigators are interested in conclusive evidence of cost records, means they require the conclusive evidences of the things. But in case of cost audit, cost auditor are interested in persuasive evidences of cost records. Next, we can also say that under cost investigation, investigators are not bound by any accounting conventions and policies, because cost investigation is not under any act. That's why the cost investigators are not bound by any accounting policies. But cost audit is as per Companies Act section 233B. So cost auditor are bound by any accounting convention and policies which are given by that act. Then the central government may appoint the cost investigators to examine in detail the cost records. But in case of cost audit, it is introduced by the government for review, examination and appraisal of the cost accounting records. So sometimes central government want to investigate certain affairs of the company in detail. That's why they order the cost investigation. And in case of cost audit, the government required companies to get their records appraised by the cost auditor, and they conduct cost audit. And last, after conclusion of specific objective, cost investigation is completed. Once that cost auditor completed that specific objective, it is get completed. And under cost audit, it is a continuous process carried out on yearly basis. In particular year, if you have conducted a cost audit, in the next year again you have to conduct the cost audit. So in this way you have studied cost investigation and cost audit and the major differences between these two. There are some concepts which are equally important under cost audit, that is efficiency audit. What is the efficiency audit? First point says it is directed towards the measurement of how well corporate plans have been effectively executed. So efficiency audit is nothing but it checks the efficiency of the concern, how well corporate plans have been effectively implemented in the organization. It is the measurement of that efficiency. Then second point says an audit of efficiency comprises studying the estimated plans of the organization, whatever estimated plans has been drawn by the company, then comparing it with an actual results. So estimates are get compared with the actuals, and finding out variances if any for taking remedial actions. So after that what we do? We check the variances or differences between actual and between estimated, and whatever remedial actions are necessary, we take that actions. Then third point says efficiency audit is conducted to ensure that resources of a company flow into the most remunerative channels. To improve efficiency of any concern, it is most important that all the resources of the company should flow into the proper channel, or they should get utilized in a proper way. Hence, efficiency audit has to observe that all these resources like main, machinery, material, manpower, etc. are using to the best fullest use. Then next is it is also see that maximum return should be earned from every unit of invested capital. So whatever capital you invest in the concern, in the processes, in the systems, you should get maximum returns from them. And last, the parameters to measure efficiency includes rate of return, capacity utilization, utilization of financial, national, physical and human resources, cash flow and payback period. So under efficiency audit, you have to check the efficiency by observing the rate of return that the company is getting from invested capital, then capacity utilization by the company of their machineries, then utilization of resources like financial, national, physical and human resources, as well as cash flow of the organization, what the cash is coming and from in which way it is going, and also payback period, how they are paying back their debts, that is payback period is also important to check the efficiency of such companies. So efficiency audit is also important while conducting any cost audit, and it helps the cost audit in very much manner. The next concept, which is again important, is the propriety audit. Propriety audit is more concerned with the expenditure audit. So we can say that it seeks to ensure planned expenditure would yield maximum returns. Whatever expenditure is going to be planned by the organization, they should yield maximum returns for the organization. Then it also seeks expenditure incurred have achieved the objectives for which it has been incurred. So its aim is to see that for what objective the expenditure have been incurred and whether or not the objective have been fulfilled. Then it seeks to ensure planned expenditure will yield maximum returns, which we already discussed, and it is the verification of transactions in the best interest of the public. If company appropriately expedite their activities, it results in the best interest of the company, thereby best interest in the public as well. So in this way we can say that proprietary audit is morely concerned with the expenditure audit and the expenditure the company is conducting on their regular activities. So thank you. I hope you have understood the basics of cost audit regarding the scope, then its applicability, distinction between financial audit, cost audit, distinction between cost investigation and cost audit, as well as efficiency audit and proprietary audit. In the next part, we will discuss in more detail about the cost accounting record rules. Thank you.